On the WordPress site that's going to be dedicated to hosting the MainWP dashboard plugin, go to Plugins, Add New Plugin page. Search for MainWP and look for MainWP dashboard in the search results. Click Install Now, and once the installation is done, click Activate to activate the MainWP dashboard. To eliminate any potential plugin conflicts and enhance performance and security, we recommend installing the MainWP dashboard plugin on an otherwise clean WordPress site. After the MainWP dashboard plugin is installed, go to Plugins, Installed Plugins page. Find the MainWP dashboard and click Setup Wizard. Click the Start button to proceed. Here, you can click the Walkthrough button for written documentation with this video embedded. If you are a new user, leave the interactive guided tours enabled. From this page, you can also go back to WP Admin or skip the wizard and jump to MainWP Dashboard. Let's proceed and click the Let's Go button. The wizard will check for system requirements and alert you if important criteria are not met. Most servers will have no issues meeting them. On the Connect page, you can add your first child site to the MainWP dashboard. We will cover adding a child site in the next video in more detail. However, if you have MainWP child plugin installed and active on a child site, you can toggle this on and fill in the necessary information and click Connect Site. On this page, you can optionally create your first client. Clients is a basic CRM that allows you to attach your client information to their sites. Only the client name is required. The next page is monitoring. If you wish for your dashboard to alert you if one of your child sites is down, toggle on Basic Uptime Monitoring and then select a desired check interval. Dashboard also checks for your child site's health. Site health is a core part of WordPress, and if this toggle is enabled, your dashboard will alert you if the chosen health threshold is not met. We are at a final page of the Quick Setup Wizard. Click Start Managing Your Sites to proceed to the dashboard. Navigate to Sites. Add New Page. First, enter the URL of the WordPress site you wish to add to the dashboard. Let's test the connection between the dashboard and the site we want to add. Anything but the green check mark means that there's an issue that needs to be addressed before continuing. Let's now install the MainWP child plugin to the WordPress site we wish to add. From the WP admin of that child site, go to Plugins, Add New Plugin page, and search for MainWP. Find MainWP child in the results, click Install Now, and then Activate. Let's return to the dashboard site. Enable this toggle to confirm MainWP child plugin is active, which will unfurl additional options. Enter the username of an administrator of a child site you're adding. We recommend creating one specifically for this connection. The site title will automatically be populated using the URL of the child site, but feel free to enter your desired title. All other fields are optional, but let's quickly go over them. Unique Security ID is a code you can enable in the child plugin settings. This is useful when you activate the MainWP child plugin, but you don't plan on adding the site to the dashboard right away. Below, you can upload a custom site favicon or select one. Add the site to a tag or a client if any exist on your dashboard. Verify SSL certificate is enabled by default, but if your child site has certificate issues or you're adding a locally hosted site, disable this. SSL version should be left at default unless you're experiencing issues with auto detection and are sure of the exact version. Lastly, if your child site is protected with HTTP basic authentication, you can enter the credentials here. Finally, click the Add Site button. If everything goes well, you will be notified at the top of the page. Clients is a basic CRM that allows you to attach your client information to their sites. To add a client, navigate to Clients, Add Client Page. Fill in the client name, which is the only required field. You can upload a client photo or select one of the existing icons. Let's upload one of our images by dragging and dropping it here and clicking Update. Let's add some additional information about our client. We'll enter their email address, phone number, Facebook and Twitter, address, city, and country. Let's also create a contact for this client. This can be useful if you wish to send reports to someone other than the client themselves. Let's fill in their name, their role in this company. Let's upload their photo. Fill in their email, phone number, and their Facebook. Finally, select the client's child sites from the sidebar on the right and click the Add Client button. We can see our new client in the table with a quick overview of the information we entered. Wherever you are on the MainWP dashboard, you will always have two navigation elements available to you: the main navigation on the left and the header menu in the top right. In the navigation on the left, you will find the MainWP logo, which leads you to this overview page, dashboard version, and quick access to all MainWP modules. Clicking on one of the entries will open an additional navigation level, and when you see this left-pointed arrow, it means you can expand that menu further. At the top right, you will find several useful shortcuts. The Sync button fetches fresh data from child sites. The plus icon uses a drop-down menu to jump you to different MainWP sections, depending on what you want to add. The cog icon will open contextual page settings, which means that it will differ depending on which page you are on. On the overview page, you can toggle widgets on or off. Keep in mind that not every dashboard page will have it. Next up is the Quick Site Shortcuts. This allows you to jump to the specific section for each child site. If you have a large number of sites, you can also filter them and even sync an individual site right from this menu. The theme icon allows you to quickly change the visual style of the MainWP dashboard. We offer several themes, including the dark theme, but it is easy to customize or create your own. The ellipsis menu offers a drop-down menu with access to useful dashboard pages such as settings and info, and it also has links to the WP admin of this WordPress site and a shortcut for logging out. Get Support opens a sidebar with a toggle for guided tours and a link to the help documentation. Handy links to our community website and to your mainwp.com account page are also here. At times you will see a red exclamation point. This indicates that there is an update available for this WordPress site, which can include an update for the MainWP dashboard itself. Clicking it opens the Updates page where you can then perform necessary updates. Let's return to the MainWP dashboard. Some of the dashboard pages are widgetized, like this overview page, or the Cost Tracker's cost summary page. All of these widgets can be resized, they can be moved around, or they can be toggled on and off in page settings. Tables are another important aspect of the dashboard. All tables can be customized by reordering the columns and by toggling columns on or off in the page settings. Most tables offer advanced filtering options. You can also save any number of filter segments and quickly load them later on. Finally, the Bulk Actions menu offers a quick way to perform a desired action across any number of child sites. Simply select the items in the table, in this case child sites, and then select the action from the drop-down menu. Manage Plugins page allows you to manage plugins across your child sites. You can perform common operations such as activate, deactivate, delete, and even update plugins. When managing plugins, the first step is always to select the desired child sites across which to search. You can do so per site, tag, or client. Let's select all sites. Next up is status. We can search for active, inactive, active, and inactive, and not installed. Let's search for active and inactive. In the search options, you can specify the plugins for which to search. You can also leave this empty to search for all plugins. Finally, click the Show Plugins button. We now see a list of all sites and their active and inactive plugins. If a plugin is active, you will have the ability to deactivate it from the list, and if it is inactive, you will have the ability to either activate or delete it. If a plugin has an update available, it can also be updated directly from this list. You can also perform these actions in bulk from the Bulk Actions menu. As you can see, most actions now are grayed out because we searched for both inactive and active plugins. Let's now search for inactive only. Since the table is now populated with only inactive plugins, the available actions in the Bulk Actions menu have changed. You can also search by not installed status. This offers a very handy way to find sites that don't have a certain plugin installed. To show that off, let's select Not Installed and find sites that don't have Classic Editor installed. We see 4 sites without it installed. Let's select them and then click the Install to Selected Sites button. This leads us to the Install Plugins page, where those sites are already selected in the sidebar, and we can now easily install Classic Editor on those sites. Finally, we have the Exclude Plugin toggle. This can be useful when you want to do some bulk operations across your plugins, but want to exclude, for example, WooCommerce and WooCommerce related plugins. So we will select Active, type in WooCommerce, and toggle this on. The table will now be populated with all plugins except for those with WooCommerce in their name. Manage Themes page allows you to manage themes across your child sites. You can perform common operations such as activate, delete, and even update themes. When managing themes, the first step is always to select the desired child sites across which to search. You can do so per site, tag, or client. Let's select all sites. Next up is status. We can search for active, inactive, active and inactive, and not installed. Let's search for active and inactive. In the search options, you can specify the theme for which to search. You can also leave this empty to search for all themes. Finally, click the Show Themes button. We now see a list of all sites and their active and inactive themes. If a theme is inactive, you will have the ability to activate it or delete it, and if it has an available update, you can also update it directly from this list. Active themes will be indicated with a lock icon on the left. The Deactivate button will be grayed out for them. To effectively deactivate them, simply activate any other theme on that child site. You can also perform these actions in bulk from the Bulk Actions menu. As you can see, most actions now are grayed out because we searched for both inactive and active themes. Let's now search for inactive only. Since the table is now populated with only inactive themes, the available actions in the Bulk Actions menu have changed, and they are now all selectable. Finally, we have the Exclude Theme toggle. This can be useful when you want to do some bulk theme operations across your child sites, but want to exclude a particular theme. So we will select Active, type in 20, and toggle this on. The table will now be populated with all themes, except for those with 20 in their name. The Updates pages provide a central place from which you can manage updates across your child sites. There are 4 update subpages: Plugins, Themes, WordPress, and Translations. Let's start with the Plugins Updates page. At the top of the page, you can choose how the available updates are grouped: per site, per item, or per tag. These groupings will change how the table below is presented by changing its display hierarchy. So when you choose by site, The first level will naturally be a list of sites with available updates, and when you expand a site, you will see a list of available plugins. Similarly, when you choose the per item grouping, the first level is going to be plugins, and when expanded, you will see a list of sites that have an available update for that plugin. And per tag grouping is going to have one additional hierarchy level, which is tags, then sites, and then plugins. Let's switch back to per item grouping and review the various ways you can execute these updates. You can update a plugin on a single site by clicking this Update Now button, or you can click the Update All button to update all plugins on this site. You can also select certain sites and then update them with Update Selected button, or you can select sites across different plugins, like so, and then click the Update Selected Plugins button. Lastly, there's an Update All Plugins button, which will update all plugins across all sites. You are also able to ignore certain updates, and MainWP will not alert you until you manually remove them from the Ignore list. You can ignore plugins per site by clicking this Ignore Update button, or ignore plugin updates for all sites with the Ignore Globally button. A list of ignored plugins is located under Plugins, and it is just as simple to remove them from these lists with Unignore buttons. Next up is Themes Updates. Functionality-wise, this update page is identical to the Plugins Updates page, so let's move on to the WordPress Updates page. This Updates page is very similar but simplified since there are no different groupings, and the sites naturally cannot be expanded in the table. You can update the WordPress core for an individual site by clicking Update Now button. For a certain selection of sites with the Update Selected Sites button, or for all sites. The Translations Updates page is very similar to the Plugins and Themes Updates pages, except that translation updates cannot be ignored. The Manage Posts page allows you to manage posts across your child sites. When managing posts, the first step is to always select the desired sites across which to search. You can do so per site, tag, or client. Let's select all sites. Next up is Post Status. You can search for Published, Pending, Private, Scheduled, Draft, and Trash posts. Let's search for Published. In the search options, you can specify a keyword that a post must contain and then select whether the post must contain that keyword in the title, body, or either. You can also leave this empty to search for all posts. Next, we select the date range of the posts and define the maximum number of posts the search should return. We'll leave that at the default value of 50. Finally, click the Show Posts button. In the table, we see a list of our posts, including information such as their title, author, category, tags, last modified date, status, and their belonging child site. In the ellipsis menu, we have a list of available actions that are available for that post. This is a list of common WordPress post-related actions, and it will depend on the post we searched for. Since we searched for published posts, we see unpublish, but if we search for draft posts, we would see publish here. For example, if we search for trash posts, the only available actions will be restore, delete, and go to WP admin. Let's go back to our published posts and continue down the actions list. View will open that post on the child site. Edit will open that post in the editor on the MainWP dashboard. Here you can make any necessary edits and publish the post. Trash will delete the post, and go to WP admin will open the WordPress admin panel of that child site. These actions are also available in the bulk actions menu, so you can select multiple posts and then choose the appropriate bulk action. The exception is the edit action, since posts cannot be edited in bulk. The Manage Pages page allows you to manage pages across your child sites. When managing pages, the first step is to always select the desired sites across which to search. You can do so per site, tag, or client. Let's select all sites. Next up is Page Status. You can search for Published, Pending, Private, Scheduled, Draft, and Trash pages. Let's search for Published. In the search options, you can specify a keyword that a page must contain, and then select whether the page must contain that keyword in the title, body, or either. You can also leave this empty to search for all pages. Next, we select the date range of the pages and define the maximum number of pages the search should return. We'll leave that at the default value of 50. Finally, click the Show Pages button. In the table, we see a list of our pages, including information such as their title, author, last modified date, status, and their belonging child site. In the ellipsis menu, we have a list of available actions that are available for that page. This is a list of common WordPress page-related actions, and it will depend on the page we searched for. For example, if we search for trash pages, the only available actions will be restore, delete permanently, and go to WP admin. Let's go back to our published pages and continue down the actions list. Edit will open that page in the editor on the MainWP dashboard. Here you can make any necessary edits and publish the page. Trash will delete the page. View will open that page on the child site. Go to WP admin will open the WordPress admin panel of that child site. These actions are also available in the bulk actions menu. So you can select multiple pages and then choose the appropriate bulk action. The exception here is the edit action, since pages cannot be edited in bulk. The Manage Users page allows you to manage WordPress users across your child sites. When managing users, the first step is always to select the desired sites across which to search. You can do so per site, tag, or client. Let's select all sites. Next up are roles. You can search across the standard WordPress user roles, which are subscriber, administrator, editor, author, and contributor. If left empty, the results will return all roles. In the search options, you can specify a username for which to search for, or you can leave this empty as well to search for all users. Finally, click the Show Users button. In the table, we see a list of users, including their name, username, email, role, the number of posts they've created, and their belonging child site. In the ellipsis menu, we have a list of actions that are available for that user. Edit will open a pop-up modal where you can edit the user's information. Delete will delete that user from the child site. If a particular administrator was used to connect the child site to the MainWP dashboard, they cannot be deleted and you will be notified in that case. Go to WP admin will open the WordPress admin panel of that child site. Edit and delete actions are also available in the bulk actions menu. So you can select multiple users and then choose the appropriate bulk action. Keep in mind that when you're editing users in bulk, the empty fields will not be passed to child sites. Only the fields you fill out in this modal will be passed and applied to all selected users. With Cost Tracker, you can manage and track costs associated with your websites within the MainWP dashboard. Let's add a new cost by navigating to Cost Tracker, Add New Page, enter the product name and a product URL, which is optional. You can even upload a custom product image or select one of the existing icons. Let's upload one of our images by dragging and dropping it here and clicking Update. Let's say this is a subscription and not a lifetime purchase. Below, we'll select Yearly Renewal Frequency. By default, the subscription status is set to Active. However, you can set a different one or change it later. For example, if you cancel a subscription. Category can be a plugin, theme, hosting, service, or other. Let's select Plugin here. You can optionally enter the slug of a plugin for better detection by MainWP dashboard. For license type, let's select a multiple site license, which means that the cost we enter below will be divided among the selected child sites. Here we enter the price, purchase date, and payment method, and optionally enter some notes about this cost. On the right, select the sites, tags, or clients this cost is associated with and hit the Save Cost Tracking Item button. We see the new item has been created in the Manage Cost table. Here you're presented with a table that provides a comprehensive summary of expenses with columns for the status and name of the cost, price, license type, which is indicated by a single icon for single site license or 2 icons for multiple site licenses. There's also information about the category, type, purchase date, purchase method, next renewal date, and the number of sites the cost is associated with. If you need to make changes, you can edit an item from the ellipsis menu, and you can also add notes or delete it from this same menu. Cost Summary is a widgetized page providing easy-to-understand visual breakdown of all costs associated with clients and their child sites. Data for most of the widgets can be exported in SVG, PNG, and CSV format. If you want to install MainWP extensions, the first thing is to enter your main API key. It can be found in your MainWP.com account under License. Copy it, paste it into this field on your MainWP dashboard, check the Remember box, and then click the Validate button. Then, click on the Install Extensions button to open the pop-up modal. The extensions are categorized, but you can also search for any of them or see a list of all extensions by clicking the Find icon. Let's select these 2 extensions and click the Install button. The page will reload and we can see our extensions are now installed. Next, click the Activate Extensions button to activate the licenses for any installed extensions, so you receive automatic updates in the future. If you wish to disable any extension, simply click the Disable button. Disabled extensions will be moved to the end of the list. They will be grayed out like so, and you will now also be able to delete them if you wish. Using the Privacy button, you can get a quick glance at the privacy information relating to that extension. And using the License button, you can remove a license from that particular extension. Since MainWP extensions are just WordPress plugins, you can navigate to the WP admin and manage the MainWP extensions from the Installed Plugins page. Before creating MainWP REST API keys, let's first check our permalink settings. Go to WP admin, Settings, Permalinks. Make sure you're using any permalink structure other than plain. REST API does not work with plain permalinks due to a WordPress limitation. Let's go back to our dashboard, then REST API, and let's create a new key. Enter the desired descriptive name for the key, and then copy consumer key and consumer secret to a safe location. They cannot be revealed once you've created them. Select the necessary permissions for this key. Read is necessary for endpoints that use get method, write for endpoints that use put method, and delete is necessary for endpoints that use delete method. Click Save Settings to create the key. The table now shows the status, permissions, description, and ending sequence of the key you created. From here, you can also edit or delete your key, and if you just want to disable it, click on Edit, toggle this off, and then click the Save button. The MainWP browser extension is available for all Chromium-based browsers in Firefox. We will cover the installation in Chrome, although the installation is almost identical across all browsers. Direct links to the browser extension are in the video description, but you can also search for the browser extension in the Chrome Web Store. Click the Add to Chrome button, then Add Extension. The browser extension is now installed. If you wish to see the browser extension icon and its badge count of available updates at all times, click the Extensions icon and then pin the MainWP extension. Now let's continue the configuration on our MainWP dashboard. First, we have to create a REST API. Navigate to the REST API page and then open the Add API Keys page. Enter the desired description. For example, for browser extension. Don't save the key yet. The first piece of information we need is the dashboard URL, so let's copy and paste it. Next up are the consumer key and consumer secret. Click the Copy to Clipboard button next to the consumer key and paste it into the extension. Repeat the same for Consumer Secret. At this point, we need to save the key in our dashboard for the API key to become active. So let's click Save Settings and return to the extension. Mark the checkbox to verify that we've saved the key, and let's continue with the configuration. Select the frequency with which the extension will fetch new information from the dashboard. We will choose every hour, and then select which data you want the extension to sync. Finally, click the Save Settings button and wait a couple of seconds for the extension to perform the initial sync. Let's explore the functionality of the extension by opening it and clicking on the three-line menu. Settings opens the configuration menu that we just saw. The dashboard is a link to this extension homepage we're looking at now. Time Tracker, which integrates with the Time Tracker extension, and 3 more useful MainWP links. The browser extension's Time Tracker functionality requires the Time Tracker extension to be installed on your MainWP dashboard. We will have a link to a walkthrough video for the Time Tracker extension, which guides you through the installation and configuration of the extension. After the Time Tracker is installed and configured on the dashboard, you can easily start new Time Tracker tasks directly in the browser extension. If you have any existing tasks, they will be visible in this dropdown, and you will be able to continue tracking them here. We will choose New Tasks. Next steps are identical to the ones when starting a task on the dashboard, which is to select a client and its sites, select the bucket, and enter the title and description. Finally, click the Start Timer button. You will see that the timer has started. You can now click away and continue doing your work. Once you are finished, you open the browser extension again and then open Time Tracker. Let's stop and submit the task and refresh the logs page. And there we have the task we just submitted. Each time the extension synchronizes according to set schedule, or when you manually sync it, you will receive a handy push notification from your browser.